Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another video. Before I get started, I do want to say, for everyone that's new to my channel, I am a flight attendant, and so I'm often filming not at home. So that is the explanation for this situation. Please bear with me, and I do appreciate you guys not commenting too much on the lighting and all of that, because there's only so much I can do. So today we have quite a story. So I do want to start this by saying, while there is an abundance of very damning evidence, I'm going to say this is alleged only for legal reasons. So, just putting that out there. However, I got a lot to show you. So the other day, I was scrolling through threads, as one does, and I saw a ton of messages addressing someone named Britt Andrews. This is an author, and I really didn't know what they were talking about, but these were some strongly worded messages. So as a nosy bitch like myself does, I got sucked down a rabbit hole and needed to find out what the heck everybody was talking about. And then I found myself very, very invested. So let's start at the beginning. So Britt Andrews is a paranormal romance author. She wrote a series called The Emerald Lakes, and this has 5 books and has been translated to at least one other language, German. It may have been translated into others as well, but that's the only one I could find. She has a huge fan base. She has almost 9,000 members of her private Facebook group, and she's self-published. So I think that is incredibly impressive for someone that needs to market themselves. So in 2022, she released a book called Demons in My Bed. And this was meant to be a duology. The first book was incredibly successful. People were so into it. And so when the second book was getting ready to come out, she decided she wanted to do something super special for it. So on August 28th, 2023, she started a Kickstarter campaign with different stuff being offered at different tiers and opening stuff up as they hit different monetary goals collectively. The day before she opened it, she posted this on her Instagram. I feel like she and an assistant of hers share her Instagram posting, so that's why this is written in the third person, sort of. Britt Andrews is running a Kickstarter for the soon-to-be-complete exclusive hardback Demons of the Port Black Duet. I want you to take that phrase, soon to be completed, and keep it in your mind. There will only be one print run for these gorgeous hardbacks, so make sure you get yours by hitting the green Notify Me button today. The project will go live tomorrow. Are you ready? Because the exiled are coming and you won't want to miss out. And then it has a link to the Kickstarter campaign. So if you don't know what Kickstarter is, it's a crowdsourcing website that allows the creator to basically have people invest in their idea, whether that's a product. It's generally a product. And you can purchase different tiers. So in this case, the lowest tier was $6, which got you an ebook. And the highest was $200, which got you 2 copies of each book. And they had different covers. And then another copy of them bound as one book. There were also optional add-ons, which include a candle that was specifically made for this campaign by Brightside Candle. Now here you can see the cover's really cool. I'm a fan. I personally don't buy multiple copies of the same book, but I do get the appeal. If you're a big fan of hers, these are really cool, so I get it. And when the campaign originally started, she had set the goal at $5,000. But she ended up raising over $95,000 in 2 weeks. Yes, let that sink in. The project was funded successfully on September 11th, 2023, with 768 people backing this. Wow. So people, that were backers of this campaign knew that the book was not quite finished. However, it did say soon to be finished, and initially the project was supposed to be completed by January 2024. So just under 6 months. And for the first few months, she was updating the campaign page regularly, giving updates to what was going on, but as you may have guessed, things did not go as planned. So on January 2nd, 2024, she posted the following message to her Kickstarter page. Hi all, not a lot of information to share at this time. I had a death in the family that derailed some productivity. We are still on track for a summertime fulfillment for boxes/orders. And again, that was already 6 months after when it was initially supposed to be delivered. Early copies digital will be sent as soon as the book is written and edited. I don't know yet when that will be, and I'm hesitant to give an estimate. But wait, I thought it was soon to be completed. If you missed add-ons, keep an eye on my website this week. When I have more to share, I will. I'm so excited to get these bad boys ready, but of course, the actual story needs to be finished first. So that's a thing that happened. Obviously, that would have upset a few people, even if they were like, okay, you're pushing it back, your book wasn't fully done. It's, I can see people being upset about that, but really, as far as I can see, nobody really was. People were pretty understanding because they're big fans of hers. She seems to, at that time, really care about her readers. One thing that I do want to note that I did not mention first was that this was always supposed to be an exclusive for the people that backed the Kickstarter. You can even see it here in this image I showed before that it says Kickstarter exclusive. This was supposed to be the only way to get these books. So on January 13th, 2024, she posted the following in her private Facebook group. Misfits, do you all remember the Kickstarter we did in 2023? The one with the exclusive hardback special edition paperbacks and the pretty edges? Yeah, that one. Brit is doing an extended Kickstarter exclusive run. This is because of you. We've had many people reach out asking for it because the run was too short or they didn't have the funds at the time. So she wanted to offer it one more time. This is the last chance to get your hands on the exclusive hardbacks with special formatting of the complete duet of The Demons of Port Black. Grab yours before it closes. Then she links a jot form and then she says, I'm still in the process of writing the second book, but we are still on track for a summer fulfillment. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to PAs Kayla and Robin by messaging Britt Andrews PA or emailing us at support@brittandrewsauthor.com. And remember, this is a pre-order, not a store. You will get your items when they're ready. Now, I feel like it's nice, I guess, that she opened this up to other people, but if I had been someone that backed the Kickstarter and maybe I didn't have a ton of spare change, but this is something that I really, really wanted. And then to find out that I could have maybe waited till I was in a better financial spot. I just think I don't know, that's kind of sucks. And so people were understandably not thrilled with that. And again, it's not about gatekeeping. It's just wait a sec, you told me I could only get this book, this special edition, doing this specific way. So why are you going back on that? And But don't worry, it gets so much worse. If that was the end of it, that would be whatever. But it gets worse. So once again, this book has not been written, and it was supposed to be a Kickstarter exclusive, yet you can go to this jot form and order a copy. And as of today, May 15th, 2025, it is still open. So you could go and give her some of your money that you'll never see again. So it's still available for purchase. So that was in mid-January. Now, there is no update until May 15th, 2024. Hi everyone, I need to apologize for not updating as frequently as I should be. It's not an excuse, but I have been going through some pretty serious personal life changes that have affected my mental health more than I expected. All I can do is ask for your patience and understanding as I navigate through this change. The ability to write is a gift, not just to craft a story, build worlds, create characters, but to actually be able to sit down and put the words on paper. When your reality gets rocked, it can be extremely difficult to get into that headspace to create the product at a standard you all deserve. I'm working through my situation so I can get back to the old Brit, the one who could powerhouse books out without the process feeling so overwhelming. I know in my mind where the story is going to go. I know what I need to do to get to the finish line, and I will get there. The first step is getting the book finished. That's all I'm focused on right now. Nothing else can happen until that first step is completed. I feel the pressure. I owe it to not only myself to dust myself off and get moving, but to each one of you. Once I get some words down, I'll be able to start posting updates on where I'm at with my word count and the progression of the storyline to provide you with a better timeline on fulfillment. Please don't give up on me. Love always, Brit. So to this message, despite it being 9 months after this all ended, and again, I know that they backed this knowing it wasn't finished, people were really supportive. And this, a couple examples of these messages. Janice Bowman, just as the others have said, taking care of yourself is most important. And personally, I would rather wait longer for the book to be everything you want it to be than for you to rush through something because you feel like you have to. Life happens in good ways and bad. But I will continue to be here and support you as you find your feet on your timeline. Someone named Kelsey says, as much as I loved your books, I care about your mental well-being more. You come first, so be sure to take care of yourself and take all the time you need. I appreciate your transparency. I hope you know most of us would rather wait longer for the book than for you to feel rushed and pressured into completing it. Sincerely wishing you all the best. And another person says, you're a person first and an author second. Never apologize for being human. So, I mean, that's really nice. That's a good, I guess, little update. And people were really kind. Nobody seemed to be frustrated, angry, anything like that. So our next update does not come until August 18th. Now, this is nearly a year since the Kickstarter happened. And while, again, everyone knew what they were getting into, that this book was not finished, it was originally scheduled to be in January. So, I mean, I know life happens, but people are understandably getting frustrated. This is the update that Britt posted. Hello everyone, this may be a long one, so buckle up. I know that I have not been the best or even close to satisfactory in posting updates for you. That is my own failing, and for that I do apologize. I never meant to cause doubt or concern or seem ungrateful to any of my backers. I realized recently that some backers didn't realize at the time this project launched that they were backing an unfinished book. And I just think that's false. I don't think that they didn't know this, but it said soon to be finished. And I mean, sure, we all have different definitions of soon. And I don't think it's out of line for people to be frustrated and upset. It's almost been a whole year. So then she goes on, unfortunately, I did estimate it to be done in time to fulfill this project sometime this summer, but that has not happened. Again, that is the already postponed deliverable date. It's not that I don't want to write the book. I want that more than anything, and I want it to be worthy of the support I've gained over the years since the first book was published. Now here's what's been going on in my life, and these are not excuses, they just are. Last December, I purchased a restaurant with my cousin. My beloved best friend and assistant, Kayla, has taken over management of the restaurant and has stepped away from the role of my business manager. I do still have an assistant, Robin, but things have been very hectic with this venture. Again, I'm not telling you this to excuse my absence and posting updates. I just want you all to know that I'm not sitting around on my couch watching your questions roll in and avidly, I think she meant actively, I don't know, ignoring them. I wish I could say that I'm so swamped with the restaurant that I haven't had time to write, but that would be a lie. The reason I'm having, and have been having for a while, a creative block is because I'm going through a very hard marital situation. Changing my life after 17 years with someone has taken a huge toll on my mental health, my confidence, my ability to create, my desire to socialize, basically everything. This is the first time I've spoken about the truth of my life because unfortunately, I feel I have to at this point. All I have ever wanted to do is write stories, to create worlds that anybody and everybody can get lost in. Worlds where women find themselves and value their own self-worth. I suppose it makes sense that given my circumstances, I'm having some trouble with that right now. She goes on to talk a little bit more about like her kids going back to school, and she hopes that she has more time to write once the kids are back in school. Now, people in the comments were overall pretty kind and supportive. She was given a lot of grace that, to be honest, felt a little generous to me. In this screenshot, she also says the book is almost finished, which we all know is not the truth. So her next update is 10 days after that, so great, we're getting updates more regularly. But all it was a sneak peek of the book. And when I say a sneak peek, I mean it was 3 short paragraphs. So, yes. On October 4th, she updates again saying that she is starting to get back into her groove and she will have another sneak peek soon. Now, the next 3 updates that she made were hidden to people that did not back her Kickstarter, so unfortunately, I don't have access to that. But given all that comes next, I would be willing to put money down that it's just more of the same. And the last of those updates comes in January 2025. Now, we have radio silence until April, so this is just a couple weeks ago. Now, on April 29th, she says, "Hi everyone. I want to start by saying I see you, I hear you, I understand the frustration many of you are feeling, and I want you to know I take it seriously. The past several months have been the most challenging season of my personal life. I feel like a bit of a broken record with this stuff, but where the weeds were high before, I was somewhat still functional. Since January, I have been managing full-time responsibilities at my restaurant, navigating an ongoing divorce, and working through some deeply personal, difficult events that pulled far more from me than I ever anticipated. I won't go into details here, But I hope you believe me when I tell you that what I went through isn't something a person can typically just snap themselves out of. I've taken time to heal and reflect and lift myself to a level of, yeah, this happened to me, it's disgusting, it's traumatizing, but I'm better than that one incident. I'm not sharing this as an excuse because I believe you deserve more than excuses. I'm sharing it so you know the silence hasn't been out of neglect, but survival. Here's the truth. The project means a tremendous amount to me, and so does your support. I am still fully committed to delivering what I promised. Progress has been happening, but slower than any of us would like, and for that, I'm truly sorry. Going forward, I will be posting bi-weekly updates, even short ones, and I even set timers on my phone calendar to keep me accountable, to keep you informed, and to rebuild the trust that matters so much to me. I'm currently stabilizing my personal life in ways that will allow me to move the project across the finish line the right way, not rushed, not compromised. I deeply appreciate the patience many of you have shown, and I understand the disappointment. All I can ask is for continued grace as I work to bring this project to life the way it deserves, and to honor the trust you placed in me when you chose to back it. Thank you again for believing in me and this work. I've been working on character arcs for the remainder of the story and how those will come full circle by the end. I'm so excited to share this book with you and to deliver the most kick-ass finished product anyone has ever seen. It means more than you know. You mean more to me than you know. So, I mean, it's just the same stuff that she has been saying, and while, there's only so many times that you can say this stuff without it feeling just false and feeling like lies. And at the end of the day, if she would just give people their money back, this wouldn't be an issue. Because if people want to wait for this project, this book that's apparently someday coming, then that's fine. But people should have been given the option long ago to get their money back if they no longer wanted to back this project. Because if you're told that something will be delivered 5 months from now, you're going to expect that. And then to have this be going on 2 years is absolutely absurd. So at this point, the candle company, as previously mentioned, the Bright Side Candles, posted the following messages on Threads. We've recently become aware that the Kickstarter campaign launched by Britt Andrews in 2023, which included the Bright Side Candles as an add-on tier, has not been fulfilled. Like many of you, we were excited to support this project and looked forward to contributing something special to the experience. However, we want to clarify a few important details. We were never provided product details, shipping lists, or compensation to begin production. No candles were ever made or delivered by us for this campaign. We, like many of you, pledged in good faith and hoped this would be a positive collaboration. Our hearts go out to everyone who supported this campaign and has been left with unanswered questions. We completely understand the frustration and disappointment. Many of us are readers and small business owners ourselves, and we take these matters seriously. At this time, we are officially and fully removing ourselves from this campaign and its creator. Should the project ever move forward in the future, the Bright Side Candles will not be participating in any capacity. Thank you to those who've reached out with support and questions. Transparency and trust are core to our values, and we remain committed to earning that with every product we do create. So that, is a pretty... I'm glad that's the path they took, and that they just said, we are not affiliated with this anymore at all. And the fact that they had worked something out with her, I guess, unofficially, and then didn't hear anything from her. Yeah. So here's the most recent update that she posted on her Kickstarter. This was posted just yesterday as I'm filming this, May 14th. So yay, at least she's delivering on the bi-weekly updates. So this says, hi everyone, this update is only 1 day late, and given what the past couple of weeks have been like, I'm counting that as a win. I know I've been quiet for far too long, and that silence has caused confusion, frustration, and distrust. I understand that completely, and again, I take full ownership of it. I am here, I am showing up, let's get into this. Over the past 18 months, I've been navigating a massive personal and emotional upheaval, ending a marriage, rebuilding my home life, co-parenting, and keeping 2 businesses afloat while managing every single emotion under the sun, but largely burnout. Emotional and creative burnout. I convinced myself that anything short of perfection would make me a failure. So when I started falling behind, I isolated. I felt like I was failing not just faceless readers, human beings who support me, who love my work, who believed in this project so much that they came together and showed me just how much, to the tune of $95,000. How do you tell 800 plus people week to week that there's nothing new to report? I've seen the things people are saying, calling me a POS. Well, sorry, but there isn't a thing I've read that I haven't already told myself as this has gone on. And that was the problem. My internal monologue got so dark and twisted at times that I became my own worst enemy. That was my mistake. Not keeping you informed, even in the hard moments, was where I went wrong. But I want to be very clear, this project has never been abandoned. I've never stopped working on the book, and I have every intention of fulfilling what I promised. The book is still being written. It's evolving into something richer, deeper, and more emotional, or more emotionally honest than I originally imagined, but that growth took time. Physical rewards are still planned and budgeted for. Production timelines will follow the final manuscript. Brightside Candles recently stepped away due to social media backlash, but cited not being aware that the book wasn't finished. I don't understand how that is even possible. All of that information has been clearly outlined and publicly available since the launch of the campaign. I am disappointed that Ariba has backed out, and for those who did add on a candle, I'm exploring other options for that. Hopefully, I'll have something more concrete in a couple of weeks for my next update. And Ariba is the owner of the candle company. More on her later. I've been in talks with Jake and Bridget Bordeaux, the audiobook narrators, keeping them updated. As they are audiobook narrators, and there's clearly nothing for them to record at the moment, I'm unclear as to the motives behind contacting them for answers, especially after my most recent update. I don't have a PA. Kayla hasn't been my PA in well over a year. I'm a one-woman show. Do you know that after this backlash on social media, people were tagging random women named Kayla and then people were messaging them? Guys, what the hell? Unacceptable. This is contradictory to a lot of stuff that came right around the same time with her talking about her PAs, Kayla and Robin. More on that in a second. To rebuild the trust and keep you fully informed, I'm still committed to bi-weekly updates. Short, clear posts every 2 weeks so no one is left guessing, and I'm working on revised delivery timelines with honest estimates and buffer room. To everyone still here, thank you. Thank you for your patience, your belief in me, and even your frustration. It means you care. I know this has gone far off course, but I'm still here and I'm still building something that matters. This book will be delivered. This project will be completed. I do want to add that if I ever, for whatever reason, for reasons I cannot even fathom, decide that this project will not be completed, you'll be the first to know and you will all be refunded. I'd like to put that narrative to rest right now. I'm honestly tired and offended at the insinuation. Over the next couple of weeks, in the midst of writing and attempting to protect the mental strength and progress I've worked so hard to achieve, I will not be active on social media. Everyone knows how much they can take, or we think we do, right? My update yesterday was late because yesterday I moved out of my house. The house I bought 3 years ago to raise my children in, I moved out of. My 3 kids and I are living with my mom for the foreseeable future. That's some heavy stuff. I'm not reading comments on other platforms. Honestly, the POS one nearly did me in, and right now I'm in protection mode. You guys want this book, I need to write this book, and the only way that's going to happen is if I stay well and far away from all of the negative and toxic noise that's happening. My silence toward disrespectful and at times hateful comments is because I am telling the truth. I don't need to shout it, I just need to keep building, and I am. I know this doesn't answer all of your questions, but the most important thing here is I am still doing this. My next update, I hope, will have more of a timeline on the actual completion of the book since I'm trying to figure out this new living situation and what that looks like for productivity. I appreciate your understanding and patience. I guess I'll end with, if you're here to support, I see you and I'm beyond grateful. If you're here to throw stones, well, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm made of. Because I've walked through fire, I've been reduced to nothing but ashes, but I'm rising up and it's going to be beautiful and empowering. Until next time, which will be in 2 weeks' time, love and peens. Now, listen, I fully understand that she's gone through some hard stuff, and I don't want to come across as insensitive to all of that. However, if you promise something to people, you have to deliver on it. And they have given her more than enough time and grace in this situation. Nobody asked her to open a restaurant in the middle of this. And to be honest, if she was already had projects that she wasn't able to handle, why was she opening a restaurant? And again, this is speculation, but the Kickstarter campaigns are only held in escrow for 2 days. So 2 days after the campaign was finished, she received that money. And then she had bought a restaurant. This is speculation. This is not confirmed, and I'm not saying that this is what happened. But I'm saying it could have been something that happened. And I don't think it's unreasonable that people are upset at this point. And sure, don't call someone a piece of shit, but I honestly, people gave her a lot of money for this. A lot of people gave her a lot of money. And there's honestly no excuse at this point. Fine, if you don't think you can deliver on this, then give people their money back. And to me, that's the root of this, is like, okay, you're going through a lot and that's so hard, and I'm totally empathetic to that, but at the same time, you owe something to these people. Give them what they were promised or give them back their money. And I don't know why that is something she's just unwilling to even really address. So here's a little sampling of what people had to say to that update. I no longer consent to being on the receiving end of your mental health updates. We are all going through it. This is a rough time, and to be frank, your struggles do not make you special. In the last year, I also went through a horrific divorce and had to completely start my life over and grieve the loss of a parent. But I did not hold 800 plus people captive and force them to watch. I don't want to be here. I don't want your books. I don't want to hear about your life. I used to be a huge fan, and at this point, if I ever get this book, I'd throw it away because of the sheer amount of negative feelings I have. I understand how supply and demand works. These aren't going to be worth anything on buy-sell trade groups when the market floods with people trying to get these out of their homes. There's no option to recoup cost once they are in our hands. You've alienated a significant percentage of your audience. Issue refunds and start over if the money is still there. If not, be honest so we can start the healing process of being grifted by someone we used to respect. Stop holding people prisoner who, and I cannot stress this enough, do not give a single shit about your book anymore. We had someone say, yes, exactly this. This is how I feel and my thoughts. Now, she does still have a few people on her side. My favorite part of these comments is the mass amount of asshole commenting happening. Are you guys kidding me? Everyone has their own mental limit, and I honestly respect Brit for being honest about her mistakes and protecting yourself. Maybe y'all should focus on yourselves instead of berating a woman who has acknowledged her failures and is trying to fix it. Any backer here giving Brit grief after she's owned up to her shit needs to take a good look in the mirror and figure out their own shit. Now, just have a few comments on this specifically. When she says that people should focus on themselves and instead of berating a woman who has acknowledged her failures and is trying to fix it. That would have been, something to say like a year ago. I cannot stress this enough. It has almost been 2 years and people are sick of it. And I'm sorry, like lots of shit happens and I get it, but you need to actually be honest and say, I don't have time for this because I purchased a restaurant and I'm dealing with that. I'm getting divorced. And, give people their money back. That's like at the end of the day, that's all anybody wants. And it's honestly wild the amount of deflection that this woman is doing. I can't handle it. So we have someone else saying, honestly, my mental health limit is an author gaslighting me for almost 2 years. I'm trying to protect myself. Brit needs to look in the mirror and figure out her own shit, considering her updates at best have been rewording nonsense that is all the same. She hasn't acknowledged a damn thing. And that is 100% facts. Another person says, you're exactly fucking right. Everyone has their own shit going on. Your car breaks down, you take it to a mechanic, but leaves your car sitting for months after you were supposed to pick it up with no communication. You're just gonna let it go because he has shit going on? No, you aren't. She's wrong, and we have a right to be mad. She's not answering questions we have a right to have answers to. She's making the same mistakes over and over and over. There's no fixing it, so you can accept her excuses all you want. Doesn't mean you get to talk about other people being upset. If she wanted to make it right, she would have canceled it and done it a different time. Amen. Another person says, I'm acutely aware of my own shit, which is why I'm asking to be released from this absolute train wreck of a Kickstarter. I also understand how cost and profit works, how the tariffs work, and the fact that because she waited so long, her production quote initially simply doesn't exist anymore. You're absolutely allowed to feel empathy, but at least acknowledge that the money from 2 years ago simply will not cover the production costs required to fulfill this project now. The books and the figures, both standees and figurines, would be required to be produced overseas as the US does not have the infrastructure to produce them. It simply does not exist here. Therefore, these projects would then fall under the 46% tariff. So at the very least, explain to me how this project is even possible anymore, since, Brit refuses to do so. And that's such a good point that honestly, I hadn't even thought of until I originally read this, is that times have changed, man. The stuff what you used to be able to get just a few years ago for $200, you can't get anymore. So sending out 5 books and they're all exclusive and I mean, that's not going to cover it. And if she had just done this in the timely manner she was supposed to, this could have been avoided. And if you're not mad enough yet, here is another person supporting her that says, cool thing about people asking for refunds. Yes, I get why. However, Kickstarter has this nifty thing that they let you know twice while verifying your pledge. The last page, where you verify the payment method, you have a check marks to click. I understand that rewards or reimbursements aren't guaranteed by Kickstarter or the creator because, twice stated, backing means supporting a creative project regardless of the outcome, and rewards aren't guaranteed. You're supporting an ambitious creative project that is yet to be developed. It's important to consider that, despite a creator's efforts, there's still a risk that your award may not be fulfilled. We urge you to consider this risk prior to pledging. Kickstarter is not responsible for reward fulfillment or refunds. Okay, but correct me if I'm wrong, the goal was met. So that's kind of what they're referring to. If you don't hit the goal of the Kickstarter campaign, then you don't really get what you pledged. But you did, and surpassed it by $90,000. There's literally no excuse for this. She continues, so while I understand the outrage, this is also not a pre-order type of thing. The warnings are there. It isn't fine print at the bottom. The warnings are right at the top on the right when you make a pledge. While I may get hate for this, I'm stating facts from Kickstarter. You can go to any campaign and go through the backing a pledge pages to see them. You did have to check that you understood the terms that nothing is guaranteed before you can place a pledge on a campaign. This is one of those times that, well, you probably should have read what you agreed to. No, not all campaigns don't end up being fulfilled. And isn't there another one that is years behind schedule? But he's a trad pub, so it's probably okay for him. I roll. I have no idea what that's referring to. So again, rewards are guaranteed, though since she has stated it is still going, it'll just be super late. Also not a thing, refunds, because Kickstarter warned you twice and you agreed. Have a great day. You can make your complaints or points, but again, I copy-pasted straight from Kickstarter, so argue with them. I won't be participating in a back and forth. So, once again, this is just a matter of, she's being so dishonest. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous for someone to pledge. I think there's a reasonable assumption that when you're initially told, 5 months for this to be delivered, it should be delivered. And giving her a little bit of slack, fine. Make it about 10 months. And now it's been almost a year since that time. And I think there's a reasonable expectation that this promise, that this campaign be delivered in a somewhat timely fashion. This just seems so scammy. So now, something that was posted on Threads recently is regarding a post that Britt made back in June 2023. So let me read you that and then we'll continue. Quick update here about Demons in My Head. The book is being pushed back. I understand your disappointment. Please understand mine. As badly as you want to read the second book, I can assure you I want to write it more. Take your frustration and multiply that by 100, and that's how I feel. It's been a hard year. My team has been deleting comments and removing people who aren't being kind. Remember that this community is built on women supporting women, which is a phrase that I hate because, sure, support women, but, don't support shitty women. So keep that in mind when you post, comment, or message. Thanks for all the love and support. The best way to stay up to date is by joining my Facebook reader group and by getting my newsletter. Links for both of these are at the link in my bio. I can get you back to Port Black as soon as I can. So Nikki Reese Smut has screenshotted that and continued on with this. I guess I just want to know why. What changed from June of 2023, where you announced the pushback of the release date, to turn around in August and launch the Kickstarter? And when it became evident that you weren't going to have it all wrapped up for an early 2024 release, that you didn't just own it and take the loss. In your announcement that you pushed the release back, you said this is a community where women support women, and I agree. The book community can be so pushy about books, but this goes so much further than just being snotty over books. You took people's money and ghosted. You can't claim that we're just being unkind and mean. You fell out of contact and weren't honest with what was going on. And now we're here almost 2 solid years later with very little answers and a lot of evidence that we can only speculate on what's going on. It just hurts. You had many books under your belt at this point and a whole community of authors that not only follow you, but I imagine a lot of them are your friends. You didn't run this idea past anybody in the industry. Now you have hundreds of people holding the bag, and we're just supposed to what? Say, "Aw, it's okay, keep all our money and don't worry about the time frame." But yeah, you're not going to weaponize the book community against those of us speaking our truths and asking questions. I may not be an author myself, but I have been in this community a very long time. And all of my years being part of this amazing community, I've never seen a blatant lack of care in authors' own readers. I feel completely shit on, to be honest. And there's a reply. She got our money and decided she would use it elsewhere. Too many times she has said, then never delivered. And then she makes out she has the hardest life ever. But she has all the time in the world to run her own restaurant, which she said was co-owned, but is owned only by her and now is in trouble. Yeah, the funds are released from Kickstarter 2 weeks after the Kickstarter closes. I think I said 2 days before, but 2 weeks. She would have had to put the money in escrow, and given that her restaurant is struggling, it's not a stretch to speculate that the funds are gone, allegedly. So basically, allegedly, we own shares in her restaurant. Sorry, our restaurant. So I just thought that was a funny little way to wrap it up. Now, unfortunately, this is not the first time we've seen scamming from her. So back in 2023, she attended an event called Beyond the Reads Author Event, or BRAE, which is probably what I'll just call it. Many people had pre-ordered books from her to be picked up at this event, but they apparently hadn't come in yet, so they were supposed to be sent to the people that purchased them. So I do have some screenshots from someone who did purchase this book and, was expecting to pick it up then. This event took place on Saturday, July 22nd, 2023, and this is a message that was sent sometime between then and November. I don't know the exact date. So, hi there. I'm so sorry to bother you, but I was hoping you might be able to help me out. I did a pre-order for A Hunt So Wicked on July 9th on PayPal so I could pick it up from Brit at BRAE. Unfortunately, they hadn't come in, so I was told they would be shipped out when they came in. I emailed in September, and Kayla said that there was an issue with the printing, but it shouldn't be much longer. With it being November now, okay, I guess it was November, and I still haven't received it or heard anything, I emailed the contact on PayPal and on the website, but no one has responded. I just wanted an update on this and was hoping someone could let me know what was going on. The transaction number is blah, blah, blah for PayPal, and it was on July 9th at this time for the amount of $26.63. The name is redacted. The PayPal email is redacted. Please, if possible, let me know what's going on. Thank you for your time and help. Have a good day. So I don't know exactly how long went by because I didn't know when the first one was posted or sent, so here we go. November 17th. Sorry, I'm not trying to be that person, and sorry I posted about having someone contact me, but I was just trying to get in contact with anyone for an update. I emailed about 3 weeks ago once, and then again maybe a week and a half ago, but no one has replied, and then the previous message has sat unread. I didn't know what else to do. Hopefully someone will see this and can get in touch with me when they have a chance. Again, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be a bother or anything. I just don't know what else to do at this point. And honestly, that makes me so sad. You did nothing wrong. Like, if you've paid for something, you should get it. And you shouldn't have to apologize for someone else's, failings. So they do get a message back. Hi, this is Robin. Please don't apologize. It's completely understandable to want an update. I'm so sorry I didn't see this until now. It went to my spam for some reason. Let me touch base with Kayla and I'll get you an update. Later that day. Hi, so I have an update. Kayla got the initial shipment of books she had hoped to ship out in September, but they came from the distributor damaged. We're still waiting on another shipment from them. It's been a whole mess, and I'm so sorry for how long you've had to wait. Again, why are we not communicating these things when they happen? It's been a whole mess, and I'm so sorry for how long you've had to wait. I can offer a refund, otherwise we're currently at the whims of waiting on the reprinted books, hoping they are correct and undamaged this time. Let me know what you'd like to do. Again, I'm so sorry for the lack of communication, and if you choose to wait, I'll do my best to keep you updated. I honestly do not mind waiting. I just started to worry when I couldn't get in contact with anyone. But again, so sorry. I honestly am not trying to be that person. I just started to worry. I really don't mind waiting, and I don't really expect you guys to personally update me, so I can just message again in a month or two, which is you should not need to do that. I'm sorry for bugging you guys, but thank you so much for the time you took to talk to me. I really appreciate it so much. Hope you guys have a great day. You are so kind and absolutely not that person. Feel free to check in whenever. We'll likely do a post in Misfits about updates soon. Hopefully books will start shipping again soon. Thank you so much for your patience and kindness. And again, it's not really that much to ask for a product that you've purchased to be delivered in a timely fashion, especially when it was a pre-order. And I understand that stuff happens and it got damaged in transit or whatever, but tell the people that. So our next message comes on February 18th. Hey there, sorry to bother you guys again, but I was just wanting to check in again for A Hunt So Wicked and see if you guys had ever gotten them in. I had pre-ordered one for Bray last July, and they weren't in when we were at Bray, and they were supposed to send me my copy when they got in. I know I spoke with someone in November, but I still haven't received a copy nor heard any more updates about it. If you guys were able to get copies in that wasn't damaged. Can you please let me know when you have, I'm assuming it says like a chance. Now, this email was sent in September of 2024. So again, this was a year after the event that this person was supposed to be able to pick up the book at took place. So this is absurd. Hi, I tried to contact via Messenger on Facebook on September 13th, but never got a reply, and when I asked for an update in July, I was told there was no update because Britt was out of the office. But I'm still waiting for my order from Bray 2023. I had pre-ordered A Hunt So Wicked. I know there has been like issues, printing issues and everything. If I could just get an update on it, my order will be shipped out anytime. That would be absolutely wonderful. I know you guys were just at getting witchy with it, but I'm hoping someone can squeeze in the time to find out what is going on with this for me. I saw someone who had pre-ordered for Bray this year and their order was shipped out. Please, I'm begging, can someone let me know something? Thank you so, so much. I hope you all have a great weekend. I pre-ordered and then gave all that information. Thank you, and I'm sorry for bothering you guys. You don't have to say sorry. You didn't do anything. And this is absolutely just like so angering. You shouldn't have to say I'm sorry for any of this. So then they replied, and again, I don't know if this is Britt herself or one of her assistants that apparently she doesn't actually have. Hey love, I knew I was forgetting something. I'm so glad you emailed me about this. I'll be sure to throw in some extra goodies for you since you've been beyond patient with me. And I mean, it's what is this at this point? Like, what kind of goodies are going to make up for not getting this book that was pre-ordered for an entire year? And yeah, I cannot comprehend how someone could do this and still feel okay about what they're doing. There is absolutely no situation in which this is acceptable. Like, there's just not. Like, I literally am trying to think of one and there's not, because at the very, very least, this person deserves an update. And it just disgusts me, to be honest. It just disgusts me. So here's another thing. This happened right around the same time, a little bit after the Kickstarter was funded, but this is about her online shop. Important shipping updates. Hey Misfits, this week I'll be issuing refunds for signed books. I will fill orders that I have in stock and that can be complete, but the rest are being refunded. I've had enough. I'm done with the passive-aggressive emails, the public shaming, the anxiety. I've been more than transparent and crystal clear on what the issues are and what delays have come up. I've always offered a refund if you're done waiting. No hard feelings. But if you choose to wait, then it's not right to come at me or my staff aggressively. Nobody knows what's going on in my life except for me, and frankly, I don't owe anybody an explanation, except for when you take their money. I've had a lot going on and I'm not going to share anything more than that because I don't want to. I'm not going to send out what I have in stock and eat the shipping costs to send the rest later. Why? These people have paid for books. I've offered discounts, extra books, and swag, my way of apologizing and showing I care that you've been patient. The choice has always been yours. Wait or get refunded. I'm no longer offering this because the countless emails, messages, and now public blasts are too freaking much. At this point, I'm not sure I will reopen the shop. I'm hurt and beyond upset. Kayla is my best friend. She works hard and she cares about me and you. Robin Edgerton has been with me from day one. I won't tolerate anyone disrespecting them. This includes pre-orders and website orders. I'm sorry to those who have been understanding and would have continued to be, but I'm washing my hands of all of it and moving on. Maybe I'll feel differently in the future, but for now, Britt Andrews' website shop is closed. This woman has a victim complex like I've never seen before. If someone purchases something from you, they are within their rights to expect it to be delivered. I know I'm just talking in circles, but it truly blows my mind that this is a real thing that's happening. So in the meantime, as no one can get any kind of response from Britt outside of these half-assed Kickstarter updates, several of the people backing this have started reaching out to other people that were initially part of this project. So one of these folks sent an email to Ariba, the owner of the Brightside Candles. And I don't know what they said exactly, but she replied, "Unfortunately, this is true. The last response I got from Brit was back in November of 2023. I reached out twice in 2024, but got no responses to those messages. I can attach a screenshot. It's unfortunate because we were so excited to be a part of her Kickstarter campaign. I even bought a box." So she's also a customer. And this is the screenshots. So at the top, I'm not sure exactly when those messages were. "Hey, love, just checking in about the candles. When do you need them by?" Britt says, "Hey, I'm not even sure yet. I just got home from Vegas and got nailed with COVID." And Ariba says, "Oh no, I hope you feel better soon. Let me know whenever you're able to give me details so I can have it on my calendar." January 18th. "Hi, love. How are you? I had a question about the Kickstarter you did. Did you have a plushie design? Can I ask who the vendor/designer was?" Nothing. August 28th. "Hi, my love. Just checking in with you. When do you need the Demons of Port Black candles?" Like, again, the very least that she can do is reply. Like, that's something that's really getting me riled up too. There's just a blatant dismissal and just ignoring people. I mean, fine, if you want to say that, like, you're going through this, all of this stuff in your life and everything's really, really hard for you, then you can just say that. I mean, it's, as she herself mentioned, not an excuse, but at least people will feel heard. I mean, in my job as a flight attendant, there are lots of stuff that can go wrong in people's day. Flights get canceled, flight gets delayed, all kinds of stuff that people are understandably upset about. And even though it's acknowledged, and most of them do acknowledge that it's not my fault personally, they just need someone to talk to. They just need someone to listen to their concerns. And that is honestly what should be happening here. She has assistants, she has herself, and she should be way more sympathetic to her customers and her readers. And if she's saying, "I'm sorry," but it's always followed up with, "I'm sorry, but," it's not an apology. And it's absolutely beyond me that this is real life. Here's a reply from one of the narrators of the book that was reached out to by some of these folks that were scammed. It says, "I really wish I could help you out, but I don't have any additional information for you. After the initial delay, I told Britt to reach out to me when the manuscript was ready, and I would do my best to slot it into my schedule ASAP. As narrators, we're not involved in much of the process before that. I really wish the best for all involved." Understandable. But the fact that she also hasn't heard anything about this campaign in quite some time is telling. They also reached out to the cover artist. "Hello there, I'm so sorry about this news. I was not aware that this was happening. I haven't got a chance to work with Britt again after that project. I'm not sure what is happening, but I'll try to reach out to her about this matter. She has Facebook that I can maybe reach out to her directly and fast about this. Maybe we could hear some news. I'll let you know. Thank you and sorry," even though this person had nothing to do with it. So I know that was a lot, but I now want to kind of update on some posts on threads that are kind of how I found out about this to begin with. And I really do want to shout out a particular user, Romance Book Reader, who has been so crucial to me getting the information I need to make this video. And I hope that she and everyone else can eventually get this resolved because it's just awful. So she writes on April 6th, "A Kickstarter I backed way back in 2023, not being fulfilled, is living rent-free in my head. Author gaslights her own fans and has now blocked me from seeing updates, even though she has a chunk of my money. Imagine raising nearly 100K and not fulfilling it. She also took money for people to buy candles from her, and the company she used hasn't heard from her since September 2023. When will people wake up to this? That's proof right there. It's sad as I was such a fan too." And another user says, "Holy shit, she blocked you?" "Yep, it won't let me look at her updates even though she has my money. How is that allowed? She also challenged my card company when I requested a refund for the hardcover books that never appeared either, so that's still ongoing as well." And on April 29th, when she posted another one of these stupid updates on Kickstarter, "I see your latest update, and I'm sorry you're going through it, but at this point I have no sympathy. This has dragged on long enough. You only pop up with an update when things start getting heated on social media. You took 100K from your fans and have not produced a product and have hidden and ignored us. Refund the people that want their money back, as this has been going on since 2023. Not to mention all the orders not fulfilled. Do the right thing and give us our money back. I suffer with mental health too. I am also struggling financially, and if I had your books, I would be selling them to try and pay my bills. But you don't care. You don't care that we are struggling too. It's always about you. And it's sad. You're so talented, but you have ruined this for yourself. Please give me my money back. Here she says again, Britt, the reason people have had to go public is because you have shut all communication off to yourself, emails go unanswered, posts were being deleted, and God forbid we ask questions in your group. And I was attacked on many occasions by just asking for an update. You allowed that to happen in your group. You never stopped it. I was such a fan. Like, seriously, you're so talented. Emerald Lakes is one of my favorite reads, but just thinking about it makes me feel sick. Now your supporters are saying we only want our money back because we have poor money management? Well, how dare they? I haven't, but I have had awful health problems, which led to me have major surgery and be off work for nearly a year, and I'm trying to dig myself out of a hole. I'm selling some of my special editions, and not for a profit. I'm taking a loss every time, but that's life. So asking for my money back isn't exactly a hardship. Why can't you help people? Another user posted something and screenshotted from their Facebook group. She says, apparently telling someone Britt Andrews doesn't care about my mental health is hurtful. Sorry, that real honesty hurts, babe. And someone said, I don't know exactly what happened at first, but they were defending her. Continuing to harass her and her actual fans is not going to make the book come out any faster. Amanda Marie says, nah, Britt said my mental health doesn't matter. Britt says, I'm going to say this with as much respect and grace as I possibly can. I am sorry you're struggling. Clearly I can relate. That said, if you continue to spread false statements and information that's this hurtful and defaming, I will not tolerate it. I am politely asking you to stop. If you're unable to do that, please remove yourself. Thank you. This reader group is my safe space, and I will protect that at all costs. Amanda says, this is my mental health that has now been affected, so I kindly ask that you refund me. Thank you. And why should I give you respect when you have given us no respect? Your updates are the exact same things every single time. You're not even reading or addressing the actual concerns. You want to preach mental health and struggle? Same. Another user says, we got an update from author Britt Andrews, and it gives us literally nothing new. The same old promises being recycled, and gaslighting her life is the most difficult, and that she is committed to bringing us the best version of this book. I don't doubt that you intend to one day, perhaps decades from now, finish this book. I simply don't understand why after 2 years you won't give refunds and then redo your Kickstarter whenever you finish this book. I didn't sign up to give you an interest-free loan for an indeterminate amount of time. I signed up for a product that you implied was extremely close to being completed with an ETA of 6 months to 1 year. And here we are, almost 3 years later. I thought it was 2, but whatever. I'm not going to correct someone that was involved in this. Your life is falling apart, you tell us, and no one deserves that, not even you. But your backers don't deserve the way you have treated us either. Your lack of empathy for us is in stark contrast to the empathy you keep bugging us for in return. You've told us multiple times that you're not replying to things for your mental health and that you're going to write the best book ever. Except then you come back and recycle the same line with no tangible progress made, and it appears that your Kickstarter isn't the first time you've taken money from people and not provided a product. So your claims that it's coming ring false. Kickstarter is a business and your book is the product. Backers are your customers, and it is reasonable for us to demand either a product or a refund. If any other type of business did what you did, they would be shredded to pieces for scamming people. But you claim we all knew the book wasn't finished, that we knew what we signed up for. You've changed what we've signed up for after we signed up. I doubt you'll see this. I doubt I'll ever see the money or this book, but I'm petty enough that I plan to keep posting about it, so at the very least, new people don't fall into the same trap that your 800 plus backers did. I'm disappointed, I'm angry, and I'm sick of being gaslit. I'm genuinely sorry that your life is falling apart, but business owners don't have the same slack that regular people do. If you can't handle talking to people, hire someone to do it for you. Give out refunds while you push back the release date and then redo the Kickstarter and make it even fucking better than the original so that only the people who truly support you get to participate. But give the rest of us our money back so we can get back to our lives, many of which are also falling apart around us. Grant us that same empathy that you beg for each time you sit down to write an update. And I completely agree with everything that that person said. They, I think, were very respectful and just a little bit brutally honest. I mean, while still being respectful. Like, this is just outrageous. It really is. Can't wait for Britt Andrews to make her bunch of numbers update with the same excuses as to why she's gaslighting her ex-supporters. And this one I just thought was funny, given my last post. In the midst of all this dead dog author drama, let's not forget that Britt Andrews owes $100K to hundreds, if not in the thousands of people. Another post, just to let you know, she's deleting comments in her Facebook group if you ask her questions or voice your concern there. Why am I not surprised? LOL, that's why she won't allow comments on her posts in there about it, as there are more people mad than supportive. I replied to a comment saying we had a right to voice our concerns, etc., and the right to speech, just like the ones who comment how wonderful she is, and thanks for the update, but mine get deleted. It is so infuriating that she just snubs our concerns and loves the praise she gets from her followers. Are we in the wrong, really? Nope, which we are not, which is why she's deleting things and only allowing positive comments. It's absolutely disgusting. Now, there is no shortage of Threads posts and just other kind of testimonies of what people have dealt with in this whole situation. And I plan to do a follow-up. I really hope this gets resolved. And as of now, there's still been nothing. I did notice that her website is just fully taken down. I don't know if that's recent, but it is not there anymore. I went to, go look for some information, and yeah, it took me to some like buy this domain situation. So that's very interesting as well. So a couple things I just want to say before I sign off. There will be no victim blaming tolerated in the comments if you start to speak about anything to do with them, being, why did they sign up for this? They knew she was a scammer, whatever. None of that. This is not the place for that. And you can say whatever you want anywhere else, but this is not going to be happening here. Down in the description, I will put a few links to some of these Instagram pages. I know they would probably appreciate a follow, and they can give you some updates as well on this whole situation. Again, I plan to follow up on this because it is quite a situation. So I hope you liked this video, even though this situation sucks. If you liked it and you want to see more, definitely subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!